I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that...
Whoa, okay, as a public service, I'm going to stop old Flapjaws right there mid-sentence. I think I got what I needed. It'll spare both you and me. I read the comments. Because that presidential bleat, it's just enough to set up our terrific moment from Real Time with Bill Maher just last night. It features the ever spot-on Paul Begala. As home runs go, Begala's upcoming clip, you'll see it. It was like a Roman Anthony shot into the stands. Yeah, go Sox. And the crowd cheered last night as well, as you are about to see. Now, to fully appreciate Begala's cultivated sarcasm and precision assessment of the situation, that's our featured clip. Let's quickly catch up as best we can on exactly what brought us to last night's fantastic exchange on Bill Maher. Now, if you're like me, you just hate to see the world teeter on the brink of disaster while these seemingly well-meaning Russian assets are having such a public falling out.
Let's get straight to CNN's chief White House correspondent, Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, there's about 15 different ways I can take this in terms of most important things that we heard from the president. But I actually want to start with Tulsi Gabbard, the DNI, because I believe she just responded a short time ago. What's the dynamic there?
Yeah, this is really striking, Phil, because this is the second time in as many days that the president has undermined his director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, going as far as today to say that she's wrong when she offered that assessment when she was testifying before Capitol Hill back in March, something that wasn't really widely noticed at the time publicly, but certainly was noticed inside the administration. She testified that Iran had not restarted its nuclear program and goals of reaching a nuclear weapon. She invoked the supreme leader specifically in that assessment. And while she did say that it had the highest uranium enrichment of any company or of any country that doesn't have a nuclear weapons program, obviously these comments are not sitting well with the president every time he's been asked about them. She just posted in a response to this saying that her comments are being taken out of context by the media. But obviously you can go back into that testimony. It's quite clear what she was stating at the time, what she was saying that the intelligence community has found at the time. And now, between the comment that the president just made on the tarmac in New Jersey compared to what he said on the way back from Canada when he told me that he didn't care what she had testified about Iran's nuclear program, and today going as far as to tell our colleague Von Hilliard that she is wrong in that assessment, it says a lot about essentially who he is relying on in a moment like this, when it is such a critical juncture in his presidency as he's getting ready to make this decision about whether or not the United States is going to get involved in this war. And the reason this is such a critical question that the president is facing when it comes to this moment is because there are questions about what the U.S. intelligence does show. Yesterday, we heard from the White House that they believed Iran was weeks away from building a nuclear weapon. Today, the president said months. But listen to what he had to say about Tulsi Gabbard just now.
What intelligence do you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon? Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
Now, what you're seeing play out publicly is something that has been happening privately, which is kind of this disillusionment with Tulsi Gabbard inside the West Wing. We've heard from several officials. While certainly she does still have her allies in the administration, I want to be clear, there are several people who just don't appreciate the job she's doing. And they've been irritated by travel that she's taken overseas. The president himself has told people that he believes she's trying to take too prominent of a role, that she's trying to set herself up for a presidential run. And so all of that is coming into view here. She's certainly a weakened director of national intelligence. That doesn't mean she's going anywhere. We don't have any indication of that. But you can see very clearly where she stands in the president's eyes based on what he's been saying, Phil.
Yeah, Gabbard has pushed back hard. Her team has pushed back hard as well. But we've seen this trend line. It doesn't often end very well for the cabinet official in those moments. Caitlin Collins, as always, my friend, thanks so much.
Okay, let's get to our featured clip. It's Real Time with Bill Maher last night as Paul Begala poses the most thoughtful question of the day in all of this chaos. And as it turns out, he slays the audience while he's at it.
We don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but have we exhausted every non-military option? I think the answer to that is no, but I'm not privy to all the intel. Second, can we? Will this bomb work? This GBU-57, this 30,000-pound? Probably, but there are some. I saw Admiral Mike Mullen the other day saying, not entirely sure.
No one knows.
Right.
It's a mountain.
But here's the
We're
big question.
attacking a mountain.
But this is the question that the president has to ask. And I know he's watching. Mr. President, ask your team, what happens the day after? That's the question President needs to ask. What happens the day after? And are we ready? And I know the answer to that is no. Right? Why? Because this president has diverted resources away from intelligence, away from counterterrorism, away from homeland security, and all toward deportations. He seems to think the greatest threat to America is a guy with a leaf blower in Encino, not a guy with a suicide vest in Manhattan.
But wait, he wasn't done. Check this guy, Representative Wesley Hunt. Is he trying to dispute the point? To win points with you-know-who? Maybe, I don't know.
Trump went to a military school for high school. Okay, but he didn't serve. He avoided service in Vietnam. He said he had bone spurs. Then he said avoiding STDs was his Vietnam. Then he said John McCain was not a war hero. Right. Then he said troops are suckers and losers and are war dead. Yes, he did. He was going to a World War I cemetery. My grandfather fought in World War I and was wounded in Europe for this country.
That's been proven to be false.
And I honor your service and I honor his. And Trump pisses on our veterans and our military every day. Yes, he does.
And Paul Begala is always just such a great guest. Terrific last night on Maher. You know, the farther we go down this path of profiling people and making raids on flea markets and pushing everything back 2 weeks, like that's art, well, it becomes more important, it seems, every day, especially for elected officials who might maybe have a spine left, to lose the orange-colored glasses and please see the world for what it actually is.
You see, the reason why I have this smile on my face is because this is the definition of American exceptionalism. Like, we are so back as a nation. This is what the greatest country in the world should do.